down. Doom, 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 doom. Hold on. Let's get you situated. All right. Lesson 46 of Calling in the One. 7 weeks to attract the love of your life. We are so close and so far away. And cut. I'm just kidding. So we've made it to lesson 46. Today is all about forgiveness. It's a really good one, and it's we're almost done because there's only 49 days. So there's 2 more after this. That's it. 2 more. So who am I? I'm Bethany London. My friend gave me this book, and then there was the challenge of giving a little summary of every chapter on Periscope, and I can't believe it because when I first started I was so nervous and here I am, 46, and I can't believe the stuff that I've shared with everybody. Talk about vulnerability and getting uncomfortable, and all of a sudden the uncomfortable is comfortable. How about that? So all this stuff that I've been sharing I probably never would have, and here we have shared so much. So, today's lesson, forgiveness. It's a good one. It's a good one. Forgiveness is a toughie, and it can rule your life if you let it. So, it starts off talking about Jesus, Christianity. Hello. Thanks for joining, everybody. Okay, so this is the quote from Emotional Genius, Carla McLaren. I have not read the book. Oh, thank you. So what she says is, Jesus said we should forgive 70 times 7 times. And I don't think he meant that we should find 490 people to transgress against us. I think Jesus was trying to tell us that deep wounds require more than just one pass-through. Forgiveness before they can be truly healed. So we might find ourselves in similar relationships over and over again with the same storyline, and it's a repeating pattern until we can heal ourselves and forgive and move through that. So she talks about how, you know, many people in relationships, they've gotten angry, they feel, I do not speak Russian. Do I speak Russia? So we get angry, people feel violated, their boundaries have been broken, they have their integrity attacked, and while absolute forgiveness is the sweetness of grace that we all long for, we can often not push the river for its arrival. So what she says is we can commit to doing the inner work like we've been doing for 45 days now, and confuse forgiveness with its counterfeits of repression and denial. So true forgiveness is an emotional expansion of the heart that must be arrived at honestly and organically. I love that. So I'm going to say that one more time. True forgiveness is an emotional expansion of the heart that must be arrived at honestly and organically. This scope is, well, if you've been following me, and I am on Catch, so you can go back and watch past ones, but it's Calling in the One, 7 weeks to attract the love of your life, and there's lessons every single day. So today's lesson is around forgiveness and the challenge of it and moving past it so that we aren't repeating ourselves and situations over and over again. So I don't know if you look at past relationships, or even if you guys are single on there, everyone, thank you. So yeah, there's a lot there. So forgiveness should only occur once one's boundaries have been firmly reestablished and personal safety restored. So she talks about this one woman who is super frustrated with her ex-husband, so they're divorced, and she hasn't been able, okay, thank you. So she speaks about the frustration and the difficulty with forgiving her ex-husband because he's abusive, he's been manipulative, and he's constantly not paying his child support on time. He's telling negative things to the kids and about her. So what she says is to not have this woman forgive her ex-husband because boundaries haven't been established. So you don't want to forgive until obviously there's reason to, and that reason is typically once you're past that event and it's you dealing with you. So she's still dealing with this guy all the time, and he's not being supportive. I've been with some amazing men, and if you've been watching this, it's all about taking ownership, so I'm not going to blame the men. I'm going to blame me for being in a relationship, but they've all been fabulous learning lessons. How about that? It's all about ownership. Taking ownership of the situation. So it's important to not forgive until it's time. But it's also important to not hold on to something and have it just build a disease or cancer or something inside of you, because that will happen as well. So it's when we do not rise to the occasion of anger that we end up festering with its impotent sidekick, resentment. Anger is like a blazing sword meant to cut through the perpetrations and violations imposed upon us. So I want to share, I still remember to this day the angriest I've ever been in my life. And it was, let's see. So I'm 34. It was when I was in college. So a really long time ago, like 15 years ago. And it was a super powerful frustration. Like my body was on fire. I felt like my skin was red, like a cartoon, like one of those cartoon characters where they have steam coming out of their head and they're red and they have a scrunchy face. So I'm reading Calling in the One, 7 Weeks to Attract the Love of Your Life by Catherine Woodward Thomas. And so this guy that I became so angry with, I actually, 14 years later, had a conversation with him almost a year ago, so around Christmas, because I was driving to Portland, back home, and I told him how, eventually, like during the call, I told him how uncomfortable I was to talk with him, and he's like, yeah, don't worry, he's like, I had to take a step outside of my car and take my jacket off because I was sweating so badly before I called you. So we were both feeling the same thing, but I can't tell you how powerful it was for us to talk and to clear after 14 years. Like, in my head, I think I had forgiven him and I didn't really think about it, but once I was actually talking to him, it was a huge, intense situation for me. But doing that was really powerful. So it allowed that whatever maybe remnants of that situation that were left inside of me to dissipate. And that was beautiful. So what she says here is that we want to feel the anger. We must be with it, listen to it, its power and its fury. Underneath the resounding whirlwind of rage is a very important message that we obviously need to hear. So many times when we're frustrated, we'll push it away. We'll push the feelings away, or pain. We'll push it away instead of living through it. And I know I've talked about this before. My first real experience with pain and letting it live through me versus flipping it into a positive, which I'm so good at, was when my dog died in last May, and I took the time to just sit and feel that experience versus being like, okay, this really sucks balls and I'm going to close the chapter and open a new one. Like, no, that's not what it's about. Like, I love my baby, my puppy to pieces. So it's important for us to feel the feelings, to let them live within our body, because when we do that, we are letting them flow through us and out. The emotional genius, Carla McLaren, points out that anger always begs an action. Fortunately, it need not be a reactive, destructive one. The action that anger calls for will usually have something to do with reestablishing or establishing for the first time a necessary boundary and restoring personal safety and integrity. So remember that next time you're furious. What is the boundary that I get to create from this experience? Interesting, right? So once constructive action has been taken, then and only then is it appropriate to forgive. So she has the quote here. Forgiveness is not an emotion. It is a decision made by your whole self after your true emotional work has been done. So like I was talking about, letting it all flow, letting it all flow through you. So if you forgive someone prematurely, you might be robbing yourself of vital, needed energy, and that's not good. That's not healthy. So if you focus your anger outwardly as though it is others that have to change without examining yourself, you're also causing yourself more anger. So the woman whose ex-husband was abusive to her admitted to us that she's always been a doormat for her father, her older brother, a series of boyfriends who always treated her poorly. So it was one bully after another. So really, was it them that needed to change? No, it was her that needed to change. So she needed to start standing up for herself. That was the lesson there. That was the boundary that she needed to take. And hopefully she has by now, because she doesn't go into that. But she needed to start standing up for herself and insist that she is treated better, because we treat the world how to treat us. We treat the universe how to treat us. And if we don't speak up and we hold our tongues, then most likely we're just going to build resentment inside. And it's going to boil and eventually you might pop. So it's important to own our voices. Own our voices. Let's see. There's something else here. Forgiving yourself begins by becoming so present to the profoundness of your disappointment that you allow yourself to be transformed by that experience. So she had a client who was furious about letting her ex-boyfriend into her bed. Just one time. And so she was so upset. The guy hadn't called her, and she was upset that she did that, and she wanted to let him know that she's not that type of girl and all this stuff. And he's not calling. And she's just building up all these stories about how frustrated she looks by the outside, when really the important lesson is she's creating frustration with herself, and she's not mad at him. She's mad at herself. So she needs to be okay with the embarrassment that she invited him into her bed one last time, and own it that she allowed that to happen. Not feel shame and embarrassment, because that's what she was doing. And so once she could own it and let that experience live through her, maybe she won't do it again the next time. And she'll make a deeper commitment to herself so that she's not dealing with external pain that really she's creating. She's creating it. That's just the lesson all the time, is that we create all our situations. We allow ourselves to become victims. And it's not until we take ownership of the situation that we can move past it and create new experiences moving forward. So Eckhart Tolle, love him, says that forgiveness is to offer no resistance to life, to allow life to live through you. So forgiveness is to offer no resistance to life and to allow life to live through you. So part of being human is to struggle with moral and ethical challenges. It is to struggle to grow ourselves beyond our own wounds and weaknesses. It is to allow ourselves to see that we are no better or worse than anyone else. We're all on the same plane level. And in truth, not forgiving yourself while being willing to forgive others is an act of arrogance. So we got to forgive ourselves first before we can forgive another person, because really it would be inauthentic otherwise. Because it starts right here when we're being in a state of ownership. So being above the human experience is to simply allow ourselves to sink deeply, deeply, deeply into it. And it is in this way that we heal, which is the fundamental cause of our ability to violate ourselves in the first place. So in order to hold a space for love, we want to learn how to lighten up. Oh, geez. I get to work on that. Okay, so we want to learn how to lighten up. We can't really be open and available to love when we are weighed down by the burden of chastising ourselves and others without learning the lessons that anger is trying to teach us, how to say no, how to set healthy limits, and allow others to be with us, allowing lessons to transform us, and simply trusting ourselves to form an intimate relationship, trusting that it's possible, and coming from that authentic place. So we'll always pull in the same kind of destructive, abusive person and wind up upset with ourselves otherwise. So we got to accept, take ownership, forgive ourselves, and then move past it. Okay? Yes. So once you've managed to restore well-being and balance into your life, your ability to forgive the transgressions of others will flow beautifully. So that is the lesson of today. And as always, there's homework. Oh my gosh, and I have to tell you what I'm doing later tonight. Actually, today is such an amazing day. Okay, I'll tell you in a minute. So homework. Okay, it's journal time, homework time. And what we're to do today is to write down 3 to 5 people that we're angry with or resentful towards and why. And it's okay to put yourself down on the list. So once you do that, then we can identify the boundaries and the violations that have occurred and where we need to set that for our personal safety in the future so that we no longer suffer from this transgression. Write about the ways in which you've allowed and sometimes even colluded with others in the violation of your own boundaries and needed personal safety. Then make a list of actions that you are going to take moving forward to restore wellness and balance to your life. Peer pressure, is that the violation that you've allowed into your life? Once you do the homework, she asks that you reread it and see if there's anyone else that pops up so that you can work on releasing that and releasing them. And of course, there's always a bonus. And that's to take at least one action today that firmly establishes your boundaries and restores personal safety to your life. As a result of taking this action, if forgiveness is now an option, then forgive someone you've been holding resentment towards. Yay! So that's lesson 46. Forgive, and start right here, right there. And tomorrow's lesson is giving thanks. I feel like we've done gratitude before. Maybe it's just me that does gratitude all the time. Okay. Oh my gosh. There's only 3 lessons left. This is insane. Okay, so you guys, this is what I'm doing today. This is so cool. So this guy is proposing to my girlfriend, and he invited me to be part of the proposal. So earlier today, what he's done is he did a whole amazing race for her, and she had different, it's almost like a scavenger hunt. So each stop, she got a clue. And so I met her, and I haven't seen her in so long, so it was so cool to see her. And I met her at a sushi place, and she had to eat sushi and pour the sake just right. In case you didn't know, when you pour sake, you never pour it for yourself. That's bad juju, bad luck. You always pour sake for somebody else, and they have to pour it for you. And so she had to do that, and then you make eye contact when you cheers, of course. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's very important. And so we did that, and then she had to take a goofball picture with chopsticks in her nose, and then she got her next clue. Oh, and we ate 1 roll. Or I ate most of it because she's like in excitement mode, like, what's going on? And so tonight I'm going to the engagement party. So I'm really excited for my girlfriend. And I could be jealous or I can be excited. And I choose to be excited. So just one step closer. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we've made it through this book. Look how much we've gone through. I've gone through that much. Well, it was just a little bottle of sake, and we shared it between 4 of us because she had her sister and her really good friend with her, and so they were along for the whole entire ride. I was just a part of it, and then I show up at the end for the party. For the party. Oh my goodness, at a great hotel. But I won't share because it's top secret. So I'm really excited to go to that tonight and to be there for her engagement. And let's see, I don't think it's even been a year. They've known each other for a long time. I know. Well, of course she's going to say yes. He just moved here from Oregon, and so they live together now. Oh my gosh. And he's been planning this for 3 months, and they didn't even start dating, I think, until last February. So when you know, you know, right? When you know, you know. So anyways, super excited for that. And yeah, that's it. That's it for today. You don't like it? What does that mean? 3 months. Oh, no. He's been working on the proposal for 3 months. I've known about it for 3 months. They started dating back in February. So 7 months, 6 months, and he knew. I have another girlfriend that got her guy pretty much bought the ring 2 months after they started dating, but he didn't propose for 8 months. Another example of when you know, you know. And they're doing great, and they have a kid, 2 kids. No, I'm not married, or I wouldn't be reading this book. Calling him the one. Trying to find my soulmate, people. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Well, I've already been married. So, no. Does that count? Definitely did the bride thing. And I learned a lot. Oh, thank you. Learned a lot. In fact, there was a time that I would only date people that had been divorced because it is such a growth process for individuals to go through and all of that. But, I let that go. So getting divorced is quite powerful. And marriage can be rough if you're with the wrong person or if there's a lack of emotional intelligence and communication is what I'm finding. But good stuff. Good stuff. Hello from Canada. Wow. I've played around with divorce. Meaning, okay. That doesn't sound fun. I don't know if you're interested, but even though this is about calling in your soulmate, I think the lessons in here, and you can go and watch what I've been sharing on Catch if you want, or buy the book. There's some really beautiful lessons, and I think even if you are in a relationship, doing this with another partner could be really powerful. Yeah, the book. This is the book that I've been doing. So we've made it to lesson 46. Look at this. We've read all of that. There's 49 lessons. And here's what the book cover says. Clear away the obstacles that have been holding you back from love. Discover the ancient law of attraction. Really, I look Asian? You're funny. Start creating your best life to bring in your perfect partner. But what's so great about all of these lessons is that they are, you can use these lessons even towards business. When we're talking about forgiveness, yes, we're talking about relationships, but there are so many different types of relationships, right? There's work. I always go to work. I'm a workaholic. What can I say? That's why I needed the book. So it's been good. It's been fun, and I can't believe I've been on Periscope this many times. Yes, I finished college a long time ago. I finished college in 3 years. I didn't want to be in college. I like working. Yes, I have a degree, business, finance. But in the last 5 years, I would say I've done a lot of emotional intelligence work. So That's where the coaching comes in, high emotional IQ, which is super powerful. In fact, I just started reading a book that someone told me to read, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so above all this. It's called Emotional Intelligence, and it's, I'd say it's for beginners in the process. Oh my gosh, you're new. Okay, I am not married. I don't have children. I'm calling in the one, and I do want to have kids. There you go. There you go. College is a waste. I do have my own opinions on that. I did internships while I was in college, and I think that that was way more powerful. And the books that I was reading, yes, so I'm kind of in agreement with you. But what college is beautiful for that I'm noticing here in California alone is the networks. I didn't have a huge network in my college. I mean, I have my friends that I made, and I was up in Portland. But here, when I'm talking to people, especially in the entertainment world, like they are so crazy connected with their schools, or people that, will your husband require to have a college degree? No. I could care less about school. What's important to me is that they are inspired, motivated, and driven. Because I'm inspired by all that. So yeah, that's the story. That's the story. And I better get going because I got to go to an engagement party. Hey, if my friends are getting engaged, that means I'm one step closer as well. We went over this. I don't know if you guys remember, but if your friend wins the lottery, are you jealous or are you excited for them? Because if you're excited for them, for their winnings, and maybe it's not the lottery, maybe it's a job promotion. But when you're excited for the people around you, it's because you're knowing that it's near you. Yes. Excited! So I will talk to you guys tomorrow on giving thanks. Lesson 47. And feel free to share this with your people if you think it would be supportive to your community. We all get to learn from each other. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Love you. Spread the love. Spread the love. Bye.